Let's go here.
Let's go here. Where we're going is to
Rob
the NFL.
Patrick Mahomes has decided.
New haircut, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Doing a media tour.
Yep. New
When he's
haircut.
coming on The Odd Couple.
New hair, who this?
Yeah, all we got to do is say that Nick Wrong is a co-host on the show. He'll come on. I mean, Nick Wright. What did I say?
He might. But, yes, he's been doing the media rounds. Most recently, earlier this week, he popped on with CNBC to discuss a myriad of topics. One of the things that came up was the idea of the long-rumored 18-game season that could be on the horizon in the NFL. When asked about it, Mahomes said, quote, "If there were a way to get to 18 games, and I'm not a big fan of it, but if there were a way, I think you got to add some bye weeks in there to give more time for guys' bodies." Your thoughts?
Well, this is what I think. First of all, ain't no what if. If you got the NFLPA who's trying to act like, oh, we got so many other things we got going on. First of all, NFLPA hardly ever does right by the players. So let's just start
Hardly
there.
ever. How about never?
That was me trying to give them one. They never do right by the players, which means players have mostly said they don't want to do this. It's going to happen, especially when it comes to big money, which is what these owners want. So we're going to get to 18 games. And if you get to 18 games, both of you, Rob, Parker, and Rob G, well, you know what 18 turns into? 20. And here's my thought and concern. One of the things that's made the NFL great is the scarcity. It was 16 weeks for so long. It was 12
It
originally.
used to be 12.
12, exactly. It was 12. Then, of course, they go to 16.
14 and 16.
14, 16, so many years. And then now we're at 17. But that's what makes it great. Every game matters. You don't get a lot of it. So from a fan standpoint, you're locked in. I only get these X amount of games. From a player standpoint, every game matters. I'm locked in. I'm in. What I'm concerned is, does 18 stay at 18 for 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Then jump to 20? And at what point, for the first time, will the NFL be taking a hit in something we've never really had to consider, and that is load management? Because I started to think, specifically with a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who's really known nothing but success throughout his career. Rob, what if we get to a point, because there's 18 games, there's 20 games, where teams ultimately, like maybe the Buffalo Bills, maybe Lamar Jackson Ravens, maybe Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're competing for playoffs and championships. So now I got to start to consider, man, we are sitting here at 10-3 going into our second bye week. I might sit Patrick Mahomes the week prior to the bye, then have the bye, and then sit him another week. So that's 3 weeks that he's healthy, he's fresh, because what is it ultimately the Chiefs will be playing for? Deep playoff runs in Super Bowls. And this is the first time I'm thinking, hold on, NFL. I know all money is good money and blah, 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 but that's what's made you great, is we don't get to see you all the time. And don't come to me, players or league, if you're talking about we care about player safety. Stop it, because adding all these games only makes it longer and elongates the season and more opportunities for a guy to get hurt. And I think it's the first time you might have to start considering, will NFL players start to load management? I'm not talking about the last game of the season. All right, sit down. We already got the division sold up. I'm talking about week 8, week 12, because I'm starting to think long-term. I got to think for 18 games, Rob, 20 games. And I think that is something that for the first time we might have to consider, because they're clearly not thinking about players' safety. That ain't even an issue. That no one cares about that, players or the owners at this point.
Here's my issue, is that players, especially Patrick Mahomes, shouldn't be speaking on this. This should come from leadership from the Players Association. One voice, not putting this out about – I'm not a fan of it, but let me tell you how it'll work. You got to have this. You got to do this. That gives it credence. You can't tell me that owners and people are going like, did you hear Patrick? Oh, okay. So he's not going to come out. If you have the best of the best coming out against it saying, no, but a singular voice, the union. And we've talked about this.
You beat me where I was about to bring up again. Yeah.
It's very simple. No. Like one voice from the union. And the way that they change all of this and stop, I do not understand. I wish I would have 2 minutes to go in and talk to the advisory board of the Players Association. I would say, you guys want to do right by the players? Forget about that stupid deal you guys signed so you could smoke weed and practice less. That's what they
hang their hat on.
That's what they hang, right? Smoke weed and practice less. I said I would go into the owners. Here's the CBA the Major League Baseball players have with the baseball owners. We want exactly what they have. Exactly what they have. Here it is. And if you don't do it, come September, we will not be playing football. Okay? Or you do it before the Super Bowl when everything's in place. We don't get a new deal or situation set up. We will not play the Super Bowl. How did the baseball players get leverage?
They stopped the World Series.
They stopped the World Series.
But Rob, you and I have talked about this. Everything you said makes sense. You and I both agree. We say this at least once every month because something comes up where we have to have this conversation. The issue is that sounds good, but that fourth-string defensive back who's only making about $600,000, he's sitting there
It can't be about him. It's got to be singular about everybody, and this is what you got.
Right, but I'm saying you have to have the vote is what I'm saying. We have to vote.
No.
And when we all start to vote,
no.
And your check hitting different, Josh Allen, than mine.
But here's the difference. I hear you. The reason the players have solidarity in Major League Baseball is because the young player you're talking about, you're not worried about paying your bills. The union has a war chest.
I know.
Kelvin, how much money do you need for your bills?
But Rob,
hold on.
Okay.
How much do you need? Here it is. When we finish with this lockout, strike, whatever, and they give us our money back, you take that money, you put it back in the war chest. The reason that the players union gets beat like a drum is they know that they don't have a war chest. They know that people can't miss 2 paychecks or 1 paycheck. You have no leverage. You have no leverage.
Okay.
If you have no war chest.
Your Honor, I object. Here's why. It sounds, first of all, again, I agree, but here's the thing. I have way more players in MLB. Way more players.
No, they don't. It's not that much. It's 1,100 compared to 800.
Hold on. I have more players.
How about the minor league?
I also don't have guaranteed contracts.
No, but that.
So, but I'm hearing you. That's what I'm competing for. But what I'm saying is, guys only here. My contract ain't guaranteed. So the stuff that you might have to sacrifice for them, it sounds like, Alex, I need a Charlie Brown. That's what it sounds like. You and I agree. We've been agreeing since we started. But the fact is, they're like, yeah, no doubt. I hear you.
No.
All they really hear is
this is the
because
thing.
they can't commit. It's a commitment and a sacrifice to do it.
You cannot, okay? Whenever you have membership, union membership, and you're voting to get
that's what they hear, Rob.
To get paid or not get paid, the vote can never be that. Okay, because people are always going to vote to get paid, so it can't be about that. No, the money's not an issue. Guess what? We got you covered for next season. We got
then you're going to be relying on the stars to jumpstart it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're gonna jumpstart the money.
Everybody has to put money in, but they get the money back, and that's the only way you have any kind of leverage. But it's a shame because it's not just Major League Baseball. Everybody else, even the NHL has a better deal. They have better health care, retirement.
The NBA ain't perfect, but theirs is better too.
Everybody's better. Now that's the thing that we're talking about. It's not like baseball is superior and nobody else has anything. No, all the NBA contracts, NHL contracts guaranteed. They have been bamboozled and allowed to believe that they shouldn't have guaranteed contracts, which they should. Should they be shorter? Yes. Should you be able to play for 2 years or sign a 3-year deal? If you're good, you get more money. If not, they let you go. That's just like any other standard business.
Right, because it's a physical demanding sport and guys don't last as long. And we know that, and it absolutely should be that case. They should get guaranteed. Because you know what the NFL likes to do, Rob? New deal. This just came in. 7 years, $280 million. But only about 80 of it guaranteed.
Right.
And they love to tout all the money we're throwing around these guys.
If I'm an agent, I wouldn't even
let you put that out there to make it look like you're throwing money around. No, put out the number of what it is.
The real
it's
number.
7 years, $120. That's what it is. Not 7 years, $210.